Good evening. It is January 7th, 2022. On this video here, I want to talk about a few things that have been on my mind. Those of you who have been watching for a long time, you'll understand where I'm coming from with this. Now, this is something that I really take seriously and don't mess around with and say, oh, whatever, you know. And you will know it. Appliance reliability and repairs. Okay, let's get on with the video, shall we? And this is going to be kind of a rant as well. So, first of all, as you know, most things are not made like they used to, and they end up breaking within a year or two and having major problems that should not even exist on something that's only 2 years old. That should be later down the road, like 10, 15 years down the road. But unfortunately, in our society, we've been so trained to think that, oh, things just last for how long they last, and I just throw it away and I buy a new one. But yet, if you go back to the 1990s, and even before that, how long did things last? They lasted at least 20 years most of the time. Nowadays, you don't get that easily. And that's something that really just upsets me big time. How long should you get out of your refrigerator, your washer, your dryer, your stove, your dishwasher, all those appliances? In my opinion, you should get no less than 10 years out of them. And I'm not talking like 10 years, with repairs. I'm talking about 10 years with very, very little issues, if possible, none. And I know that seems like a high expectation, but I have seen it personally. I have seen it, so I know it can be done. But these appliance manufacturers are not willing to. That's something that absolutely just drives me insane to the max. Now, I'm going to use this as an example. My parents, when I was about 6 years old, in 2005, bought a brand new washer and dryer. Brand new. Just a basic top load set. Nothing fancy, just enough just to get the job done. That's all I want, really, at the end of the day. Now in 2022, they are still going strong. Other than a little bit of a noise from the dryer when it runs, like a bearing rubbing or something like that, which should be an easy fix, they are both running perfectly without even the slightest issue mechanically. They still run, they still heat, they still go. We're talking 16, 17 years, folks. And we have never had a major issue with these machines. Ever. And they're still going. I refuse to replace those machines until I absolutely cannot fix them anymore. It's not happening, folks. I'm sorry. You can talk to me about, oh, well, the newer appliances are just more energy efficient and more water efficient. Baloney. That may be true to some degree, but you're going to pay way more for parts, repairs, and issues and frustrations than you will in utilities. So I don't care about the utility costs. Now, if there were higher efficiency machines that were very reliable like that, I wouldn't mind considering it. But I'm not seeing it, folks. I'm not seeing it. And I'll just give an example right now. I have a friend, and you know who you are. They bought a basic refrigerator. Just about as basic as you can get. No ice maker, nothing like that. Just a top freezer, basic fridge. Brand new in 2019. Just within the last few weeks, they were having major issues, and they had a repair tech out, and the cost was going to be way, way, way more than the refrigerator is actually worth. And they paid about $500 for that refrigerator, brand new, 2 years ago. Let me tell you, that is absolutely absurd. And I know I'm getting hostile, but I need to rant and vent here because 2 years is not even remotely close to an acceptable lifespan for a refrigerator. Not even close. I mean, I could understand if there was some issues after 5 years, but 2 years? Come on. That is just outrageous. It will not be tolerated, folks. I really don't understand how these appliance manufacturers are getting away with this, because they'll only give you a 1-year warranty on something that you paid $500, $600, $700, $1,000 for, but they'll give you like a 5-year warranty on like a $200 vacuum cleaner. What in the world? I guarantee you there's going to probably be more issues with a bigger appliance than there are with a smaller appliance. It's typically how it is. There's just more parts and more things to go wrong. And the other thing that really just drives me absolutely nuts, parts. What in the world is wrong with you manufacturers not willing to supply parts? I want to know that. I demand answers. Because, yes, I know we're having some challenges with, our supply chain and stuff. But even before that, there was just flat out no parts available. And then I hear excuses saying like, oh, well, it's for the consumer's safety. Baloney. So you're telling me that a wire harness that plugs in one way and you can't screw it up cannot be installed by the consumer for their safety, give me a break. That's a bunch of hooey, and that's just wrong. Secondly, the electronics that are designed to fail have got to stop. They are absolutely unacceptable, in my opinion. What happened to the old-fashioned timers that was in dishwashers or knobs on washers and dryers? Why is everything so electronic? It's because it's designed to fail. Guys, this is just outrageous. And it needs to stop. And this is one thing that I've even considered myself. If I have to buy a brand new appliance, I'm looking directly at commercial and industrial appliances only. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care what it is. I want it to work and to last. And I want parts available to me that are simple to replace and repair. I'm about fed up with the appliance industry. What I'm seeing now is absolutely outrageous. And I won't be putting up with it. Because right now, this is where I'm at. I have always been mechanically minded. I have always been very passionate about machinery and fixing things and appliances, reliability, quality, and making customers happy. And I can tell you, from a consumer point of view, looking at the appliance manufacturers right now, I have absolutely zero tolerance for your garbage right now. I mean, we're talking, 2 years out of a $500 fridge, and they were forced to replace it. That is ridiculous. I would not be selling that crap to somebody knowing that it's going to give them problems. I'm just not. It's not happening. And you can give all the excuses, well, it was only $500. I don't care how much you pay. Yes, there could be a little bit lower end parts and features and stuff, but what I saw with that instance, that was absolute crap. I'm just gonna say it, because you should not be worried about a refrigerator breaking down after 2 years and food spoiling and issues like that. I mean, heck, we bought a used refrigerator that's like from the mid-90s, 7 years ago. It has almost no issues whatsoever. The fridge is totally fine. The freezer is totally fine. Nothing has any issues. Aside from just a little bit of freezing issues in the refrigerator, a little too close to the freezer side, because it's a side-by-side. But other than that, that thing is 27, 28 years old right now, and it's still going. But that fridge that was bought brand new in 2019 completely died and had to be thrown out. Guys, what is going on with this? That is just absurd. I ain't having none of that. I'm totally not having it. And the same thing goes for heating and air conditioning. The same thing goes for, just anything else that's mechanical. If you can't make something to last and be repaired and serve the consumer well, you better really check what you're doing. Because eventually your business is going to be destroyed. That's just one of the things that I see coming. For some of these manufacturers is, nowadays we're in this society where we can just, blast everything out there on the internet and stuff, and you better watch it, because sometimes these people can, with the snap of a finger, send out an email or post something on, social media or whatever, and just spew all this nastiness out about you. So you better watch out, because it's not if, it's when. It's coming. Because these consumers are not having any of it. And especially the people that have been around a while and have seen things last a lot longer. Myself included. I'm only 22 years old, and I have seen things last way, way, way longer than this garbage. I mean, I don't ever recall us in my household growing up, I don't ever recall having to replace an appliance because it went bad, other than maybe one time. Now I can recall one that was fairly recent, like within the last 2 years. We had a microwave that only lasted us 5 years. Okay, 5 years isn't horrible for a microwave, but it's still just 5 years. Old microwaves used to last way longer than that. 15, 20, 25 years. And, so we replaced that microwave because it wasn't heating, it was burning the top. And that's the other thing that I'm going to say. Safety. Now, I'm not saying all modern appliances are dangerous. I'm not saying that nothing is safe. But you've got to really watch it when you're making these things and make it safe for the consumer. Because I've seen certain things, it doesn't matter if it's used correctly or not. Now, some of it is the consumer's fault on all of these issues. But a lot of the times, what I'm seeing is there's quite a bit of issues. And whether something burns something, I've seen burned electrical outlets from faulty appliances. I've seen burned wires. I've seen things just all burnt, and that is not okay. you want to say, oh, that's normal when it just finally dies? No. Something should not be burnt and catching on fire when it finally goes out. That's not okay. There is absolutely no excuse for that. And I understand that some things can just be faulty and weird, but if it's a consistent problem where it happens multiple times, and I've seen it on some units, whether it's a microwave or something like that, and I'm not talking just major appliances, I'm talking small appliances too. Toasters. I've got a family story. We've got a toaster from that one of my great grandmothers actually had, and my mom still has it, and I love that thing, and it still works. It's probably from the 1950s, and we've actually taken it apart and fixed it before, and it's still going. But if you buy a new toaster now, are you gonna get like 60, 70 years out of it? No. There's no way. And things aren't designed to last anymore. And I understand that they gotta sell things and make money, but this is honestly getting out of hand with this stuff. Like, I'm telling you, like, $1,000 refrigerator going out in 2 years is absolutely outrageous, and that should never happen. That is not okay. I mean, if you're spending several $100s or more on a machine, you should get a good lifespan out of it. Period. There's no other way to put it. There's no other way to put it. Either you build a product to last and withstand at least 10 years, or you do not put anything out there, because you're just making a mess of your company, and you always make excuses like, oh, well, that's not covered under the warranty, or blah, blah, blah. Seriously? Now, I understand consumers can do things that can void the warranty and all this stuff, and I get that. You know, some things are just consumers just being foolish, and I understand that. But in most cases, like for example, the refrigerator, a refrigerator should not have too many issues if you keep it clean and maintained, which I know a lot of people do. And so that is my biggest issue right there, is seeing that. And certain appliances that aren't even abused all that much and just sit there and you just turn it on and off, and they've got a major problem. Why in the world are you saying that, oh, we just won't cover that under the warranty because you voided the warranty and blah, blah, blah? Okay, something that just sits in the corner of your kitchen and is just open and closed, food put in there, coils are cleaned, everything's maintained, everything's done right, and you won't support it, that is outrageous. I'm telling you. I mean, A lot of these new appliances that they're pushing nowadays, some of them are decent, and some of them are just pieces of crap. I'm telling you. You know, no matter how you slice and dice it, if something is a piece of garbage, something is a piece of garbage. There's no other way of putting it. You can manipulate, you can massage, you can twist everything you'd like. But at the end of the day, if something was not made well, then you need to take responsibility as the manufacturer, because you are responsible for that failure, especially if it had nothing to do with the consumer. Like a compressor going out on a refrigerator. What in the world would a consumer do to cause a compressor to go out? Not very much. That doesn't just happen with abuse. That should not be an issue. Especially if they're doing the proper maintenance. So, I tell you, I've about had it with this appliance industry, and I'm watching things as we go along, and let me tell you folks, things are not pretty. What I'm looking at with the appliance industry, because things are having way more bigger problems way sooner, and it's not okay. You know, we don't buy appliances just to have for a few short years and then throw them out. We just don't do that. You know, we buy appliances because we need these machines to help us get things done in our homes and in our businesses and wherever else. You know, and you know, I don't buy into the hype of like energy efficiency, water efficiency, and stuff. It all sounds good, but I'm telling you, at the end of the day, if it's not going to be reliable and it's just going to give you a bunch of problems, then you're just going to spend all that money anyway, if not more, on repairs and parts, and then you're going to have a huge headache trying to figure stuff out. So, I'm sorry. I'm not going along with it. It's not happening. I'm not against, trying to use less, resources and be less wasteful and stuff. I'm not against that at all. But if I sacrifice reliability for that, I'm not putting up with it. That's not something I'm willing to give up. It is not happening. No way. Absolutely no way. So, and that's what I look for. If you're an average consumer watching this, I want you to do your research. Look for machines where people have had, a decent run with them, like, 5-10 years. And first of all, make sure that you can actually research if you can get parts for them. That's a big thing. Because if you can't get parts for them, or the parts are outrageously expensive, that is not an appliance that I would purchase. It is not happening for me. It just isn't. So, you know, parts availability, reliability, and easy maintenance too. Because if the maintenance is more difficult than it needs to be, then it's harder to keep it clean and maintained to make it last. So just do what you can. I mean, it's not pretty, and I'm beyond fed up with the stupidity and the nonsense of the appliance industry. I'm just done. I've had enough. And fortunately, we've not had a whole lot of issues because we've had, good old reliable appliances. But I have seen way too many issues from friends, family, other people online, everywhere. They're like, well, we just replaced the appliances because we thought it would be nice to update them. Well, honestly, like with the reliability and stuff that I'm seeing now, I don't care if something is from the 70s and looks really old and crusty. If it's still going, I'm keeping it. And I'm going to continue to repair it. That's all I'm going to do. Because at the end of the day, I can care less about how something looks. If it's not going to serve me well and it's not going to be reliable, then I don't want that in my house. Period. So, anyway, that's it for this rant. I know some people may or may not agree with me, but this is just my honest opinion and my honest passion right here. This is a big, big, big passion of mine. And I take appliances very, very, very seriously. I don't play around with them and say, well, it looks good, and as long as it's working today, it's fine. No, I think long term. 10, 15, 20 years down the road. So, alright, please like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos.